Al, we finally reached the end of the series. It's been a very long and winding hundreds of episodes that we got to get through. But this is it. This is the end of the series.
This is how it ends.
That's how it ends. What a shame. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Jared and Al Watch Inuyasha. It's episode number 7. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Lady M.
Hello.
We are discussing season 1, episode number 7, called Showdown. Inuyasha versus Sesshomaru. Exclamation point.
Exclamation point.
So yeah, we get like a 2-minute recap of what happened in the last couple of episodes.
In case you forgot that they were inside of Inuyasha and Sesshomaru's dad, and that there was a sword.
Yes.
They recapped it.
They did, and we basically pick up where Kagome picks up the sword. Like, I don't know what to do with this, guys. Who's what?
Whoops.
Sesshomaru was like, "Hey, how did you pick up that sword? That's weird. How did you do that? Why can't I do that? It's real not cool."
I think you gotta die now.
Yeah, you should probably die from this. That's real messed up. And Yasha's like, no.
She's a human. A human.
Give him the sword, I guess. I don't know. No, I'm not doing it.
My sword.
He couldn't pull it out, so he doesn't deserve it. And then Sesshomaru was like, "Hey, I'm gonna make fun of you and Yasha for a bit because you're hanging out with this human girl.
Human girl.
What a loser." And he's like, "Wow, I can't believe you must have got all these kind of feelings from your weird mom. What a weirdo. Only losers have feelings." Loser, you're a loser.
Sesshomaru is basically like toxic masculinity.
Yeah, I mean, literally. Literally and figuratively at times.
And also kind of racist.
Yes.
Yikes.
Then Sesshomaru is like, bleh, and sends out the goo and envelops Kagome, which that's a sentence. And she just gets buried in it, and the sword's fine somehow. And they're all like, "Oh, okay, well, she's dead." And roll credits. That's the end of the series.
Yep, that's how the series ends. So Sesshomaru killed Kagome, and that's it.
Well, let's talk about what we're going to be doing next season for Jared Now Watch. That's actually not the case. They start fighting again, and this is where Sesshomaru is like, "I'm going to be racist."
And
then let's do a flashback
Calls
while
him
I
a
keep whipping
half-breed.
you.
Which is rude.
The whipping scene was very bizarre because it looked like he was just like barely getting hit. He's like, and then he gets hit once and just flies backwards and creates a crater in the wall. This is very weird. But yeah, we get a flashback to baby Inuyasha. He's watching all these people play ball, and he's like, "I want to play ball." And they're like, "Here, take your ball and get out of here."
Which I said that it was hacky sack. You're like, no, that's a ball. But they were kicking it like a hacky sack.
Well, they're kicking it like it's soccer.
Like a soccer.
Like it's soccer ball, yeah. That's what they were doing. They took that ball and threw it and like, "Tell your story, walk it." Then they left.
He's a little tiny Inuyasha, and he's like, "Ma'am, what's a half-breed?"
His mother starts crying. He's like, I don't get it."
Oh no. Which I told you what it means, and yikes. You know, not something you should say to a small child, obviously. No. But yeah, she did the do with Big Dog Dad. That's
Big Dog Dad.
That's what half-breed means, buddy.
And then he gets very angry in Inuyasha that being in the present time. There we go. And breaks part of Sesshomaru's armor. He's like, "Huh, that's weird. I'm glad you actually started to fight. Anyways, I'm still gonna whoop you. Whoop your booty."
Grrr.
"What took you so long to fight? Oh, you loser." And then Kagome's like, "Man, I thought I died there for a second. Weird." And everyone just like stops and is like, "How are you alive? What is going on here? This is very weird." And then she's like, "Here, you want to have the sword, Inuyasha? Cool. I'm gonna get out of here." Sesshomaru does his magical girl transformation into a big doggo,
Mm-hmm.
and then starts like drooling poison.
It's nasty.
So they have to all evacuate the the tomb.
Yeah. Miyoga is like, hey, I think the sword's what like made you survive that weird thing. But like, anyway, we gotta go. Even demons can't really live in that nastiness down there for very long. So like, keep climbing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like nasty. Basically, he just did toxic farts out of his mouth, and everybody's gonna die if they don't get away from it.
Also, Inuyasha's trying to like attack him with a sword, and like it's just doing nothing. He's like, "This sword sucks.
Yep.
Why is this a thing? This sword is garbage." And then eventually, they both fly out of the shoulder of Big Demon Doggo Dad
Yep. Which
and land outside.
you were like, oh man, the shoulder is gone. And I was like, well, I wasn't using it anyway. But yeah, they do. Because Inuyasha at one point like is trying to climb out, and he's like, oh man, my leggies and my arms are not really working all that great. That kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we go launching out of Dog Dad, Big Dog Dad.
It's true. Kagome finds him and is like, "Hey, you should come on, keep fighting. You gotta do the thing." And Inuyasha's like, "Shut up. I'm going to. You should let me protect you." Blah blah blah. And then the sword like makes some cool noises and then like turns into a big fang.
He says it's pulsing.
Gross.
Yep.
Turns into a giant dog fang, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I guess this is the old man's. Cool." And then Sesshomaru's like, I'm gonna attack you now." And then Yasha's like, "All right, cool. Let me just attack you once and chop off your arm."
Yep. Yeah, he just straight up cuts off his left arm.
So Sesshomaru's like just standing there like, "Oh,
He-
just a bloody faucet."
The blood is just pouring out of him, and he's just standing there like listening to them, like trying to figure out what's going on. Like, all right, cool, let's just sit here. I mean, maybe he's in shock because ow. But yeah. It's like, hey, this was my sword. Dad left it in my eyeball.
I've seen wrestling matches where they've had wounds where it's just blood pouring out of them like a faucet. So yeah, it would
Really?
be kind of shocking.
Is that a real thing that happens?
Yeah. So obviously wrestlers, they cut themselves in order to bleed. This is what they used to do. They don't really do it nowadays because it's kind of an archaic thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, if you cut yourself too far in the forehead, you could hit an artery or just some kind of vein. And yeah, you'll get some situations where it's like they'll just be like face down or like on all fours, like looking down, and it's just like pouring out of their head.
Yuck.
It's real messed up. But either way, that's what Sesshomaru is like. He's just like, bleh. And yeah, this show got very gory for a second.
Yeah, no kidding. Which that happens in this show sometimes. But I totally forgot that he cut his arm off at this point in the series. I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, that's like very quick. Like you would expect like that kind of like big wound to occur 7 episodes into the series.
Yeah.
And like also afterwards, like he attacks him again. Like he hits him like a few times, but it's just like sparks fly out of him. Like it's nothing like as damaging as losing your arm.
Yeah.
But it does cause him to detransform, and then like he just like bounces.
He pieces out.
Yeah, him and Jockin are out of here.
Me lord!
Me lord!
Me
And then
lord!
and then Inuyasha, Kagome, and Miyoga
Miyoga.
are like, we should get out of here.
I do like that Inuyasha gets like some form of self-worth here, that he's like, I can use this sword. It's mine. All right, well, maybe I'm not like the weirdo kid in this family, huh? But he still has no idea how to use this sword.
No, he doesn't. Kagome learns from Kaede about maybe what she thinks is why the sword reacted to him. And then she's about to go tell Inuyasha, and Inuyasha's like, I don't need to hear from you about how to handle the sword. This is my sword.
Sword.
I know how to clearly use it. And she's like, okay, whatever, dummy. I'm just going to drop you through this bridge into the water down below and leave.
I love that she just like pushes him out onto the bridge and then leaves, and he's standing there, and I was like, huh, what is she doing? And then I
He's
realized
like, wait, what?
I realized what she was doing. She just does the sit, and he falls in the river. He's like, ah!
It's like, wait, you were going to tell me the secret. No.
The funny thing about him falling in the river and like climbing out is that you get a scene from behind of him like climbing out all wet, but because his pants are less poofy when they're wet, he's just got like little stick leggies. It's like, oh man, Inuyasha's got tiny legs. I mean, they're long, but they're thin.
Look, he just skips leg day a lot.
Clearly. Yeah, you gotta protect the humans in order to make the sword work. The humans.
And that's basically this episode.
Yeah.
In a nutshell. Let's talk about some notes. These notes have very big spoilers in them.
Oh.
That I will very clearly remember at times. I mean, it's not really surprising considering things you have told me about the second series.
Yeah.
So, I guess spoilers for those of you who are unaware, like me. Sesshomaru claims to have not inherited any of Toga's weaknesses. Is Toga the mom?
Toga's the dad.
The dad, okay.
Yeah, because he's saying that Toga has a weakness towards humans because he ended up boinking Inuyasha's mom.
I couldn't remember if they've actually like named.
They haven't named him. I don't think he actually gets a name until the movies.
Okay, so I was like, I don't know which one it is.
Yeah.
He hasn't inherited any of Papa's weaknesses. However, he would be proven wrong later when he resurrects and ultimately cares for Rin, a human girl. So he's apparently going to die and come back to life because this is just Dragon Ball Z at some point.
Sesshomaru's going to die and come back to life?
It says when he resurrects.
Oh. That's something different. You'll see.
Okay. The resurrection's a pretty kind of A to B type scenario, so...
You'll see.
Either way.
You'll see.
Episode 134 shows the aftermath of Inuyasha and Sesshomaru's fight, which, sure.
Yeah, we're not going to get follow-up on that for a while.
You got to wait around for a while to see what happened afterwards. I'm guessing they made, like, the Sesshomaru side? Because we kind of see the aftermath of this fight from Inuyasha's side here. But
I'm not sure what they mean, actually, because...
I mean, you could click through that link and see what episode 134 is.
All right, I'll see what episode 134 is. Keep talking.
And I'll continue on. For the English dub for Sesshomaru's full demon form, animal growls were used, which I thought was weird, and because I figured it would just be like he's gonna have just a voice as well, and just to continue talking. Mm-hmm. But he's just like, Arr! So I guess that means in the Japanese dub he doesn't.
It's not
have growls. That's weird. And then flashback of Inuyasha's childhood are replayed in Inuyasha the movie Swords of an Honorable Ruler, the third movie of the Inuyasha franchise.
Okay, it's just a follow-up about his arm in that episode.
Okay. Still, that's a long time to wait.
Yeah.
Weird. Differences from the manga. The anime includes an extended conversation between Inuyasha, Kagome, and Sesshomaru, where Inuyasha urges Kagome to hand over Tetsaiga to Sesshomaru in order to save her own life. In the same conversation, Sesshomaru scorns Inuyasha's and his own father's love for human, claiming he doesn't have this flaw. After Kagome is melted, quote unquote, the anime includes scenes of Sesshomaru beating and berating Inuyasha for being a half-breed, which leads into a vision of child Inuyasha being scorned by humans for the same reason. The manga, however, has Inuyasha try to immediately save Kagome from the poison and then successfully attacks Sesshomaru in rage when he thinks Kagome has died. It's an interesting divergence there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Inuyasha's fight with Sesshomaru is extended greatly in the anime to include a fight at the top of their father to escape from the toxic gases Sesshomaru spews. In the manga, the fight is kept inside their father's stomach, and Inuyasha mentioning his relationship with his father is never touched upon.
Yeah, he doesn't really remember his dad.
In the manga, it is never explained how the group escaped from Inuyasha's father's tomb. In the anime, however, Myoga brings along a skeleton vulture for them to escape.
I love how Myoga's like, yeah, I got us a ride.
I was totally not running away or anything. Ha ha ha. In the anime, the Black Pearl returns to Inuyasha's eye, whereas Kaede is seen holding it when speaking to Kagome about the Tetsaiga's power in the manga. Why would she have the pearl?
I don't know. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Going back into his eye makes way more sense.
Then the anime has Kagome push Inuyasha onto a bridge before telling him to sit, whereas Kagome simply has him sit into the ground in the manga. In the same scene, the manga depicts Myoga urging Inuyasha to fix his personality.
Fix his personality?
I mean, that's true.
Stop being such a butt, God.
Stop being dumb. Gosh.
I mean, that's kind of a valid thing to say.
Yeah. That'll do it for this episode then. Next time we will be discussing season 1, episode number 8. It's called The Toad Who Would Be Prince. Maybe some very choice voice acting in this episode.
Very choice.
Oh boy. But for now, if you would like more from us, go to seasonalanicecheckup.com or sac.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Season Anime Checkup, Jared and now. No, that's the podcast Season Anime Checkup, Season Anime Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you want more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animecheckup. And you can buy our books, One Shining Moment, A Critical Analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, and Hot Tubs and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. So next time, join us as we find about a toad and a weird boy.
A very big dumbass.